Hello, I'm Simon Whistler. You're watching the Today I Found Out YouTube channel. In the video today, we're looking at why C is the default letter on hard drives in many computers. Let's get started. For nearly as long as hard disk drives have been placed in personal computers running certain popular operating systems, notably MS-DOS and Windows, the primary hard disk has been designated with the letter C. But why? The idea for designating different storage devices with simple letters is generally attributed to IBM's virtual machine operating systems developed in the 1960s, starting with their CP40 and CP/CMS systems, and later, very notably among others, copied by the CP/M operating system created by the company Digital Research Inc. In the early systems, CP/CMS, the letters were used to mostly designate logical drives, although later, as with the CP/M, they were used to specify physical storage devices. This all brings us to 1980, when IBM attempted to use the relatively popular CP/M operating system on the IBM personal computer. Talks between IBM and Digital Research Inc., for reasons not totally clear today, fell apart. The trouble is rumored to have started when Dorothy Kiddle, the wife of CP/M creator Gary Kiddle, refused to sign a non-disclosure agreement with IBM at the start of the negotiations. She supposedly told them she would not sign such a document without speaking with her husband first, who was out of town on business. This was a somewhat unusual move, as Gary often left such business negotiations to her anyway. This refusal to sign the non-disclosure agreement, which purportedly greatly annoyed the IBM representatives, was all supposedly at the advice of Jerry Davis. He was Digital Research's attorney. But given this sort of thing is standard practice for many business negotiations, the whole thing seems decidedly odd looking back, with those involved not helping with their conflicting accounts. What happens later isn't any clearer. Gary Kiddle later claimed upon returning from his little business trip, he and his wife reached a handshake agreement with IBM's representative, Jack Sams, while aboard a flight to a vacation the couple were taking. He claimed IBM didn't honor that agreement. Sam said that none of that ever happened. Whatever the case, what we do know for sure is that IBM moved on from the then relatively popular CP/M to instead dealing with Microsoft, who in turn purchased a license to a CP/M clone called 86DOS. They then adapted 86DOS for IBM's new PC with a few significant changes thrown in and branded it MS-DOS, though called it PC-DOS by IBM. Being based on a CP/M clone, among other things, MS-DOS borrowed from the desk drive lettering scheme from CP/M, which had borrowed it from the aforementioned previous IBM systems. By copying many elements of the CP/M system, it allowed popular software packages that could run on CP/M to be relatively easily ported over to MS-DOS and used on the new IBM PC. This all brings us back to the specific drive lettering schema. Early PCs didn't usually come with internal mass storage devices due to the expense, although hard disk drives had been around since the 1950s. Instead, they generally had some form of a floppy disk reader, such as those used to read 5¼ floppy disks, initially labeled as A in MS-DOS and other operating systems. Some systems came with two such floppy disk drives, necessitating the need for a B. When the 3.5-inch floppy disk, which wasn't actually floppy at all unless you took it apart to get at its innards, was commonly added, using both A and B for floppy drives was firmly entrenched. When hard disk drives became standard in most PCs in the later 1980s, since the first two letters were already commonly used for those floppy drives, they logically labeled the third storage device C, even though it now tended to be the main storage medium for the computer. It also usually contained the operating system. Despite that exceptionally few systems today still contain floppy disk drives, this schema of drive designation has stuck around anyway, with A and B often still being reserved for floppy drives. Of course, these letters aren't set in stone on modern systems, and you can easily change, remove, or add drive letters, representing both physical and logical drives if you have administrative rights. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give us a like below, it really helps out. And leave us a comment to let us know what you think of it, we really appreciate them. We read them all and reply when we can. Also, over there on the right, a couple of other videos you'll probably enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for other brand new videos just like this. And thank you very much for watching.